Losing viewers every day because the intro songs, they can't make it through the intro songs. I'm losing viewers. No subscribers. Losing subscribers every day because the intro songs, they can't take it. I won't take it away. I'm losing viewers. No more subscribers. So many subscribers love the intro music, but so many subscribers don't. They don't love the intro music. Subscribers. I'm losing viewers. No more subscribers. Wait, that's down here. No more subscribers. No more subscribers. No more subscribers. No more subscribers. Hey everybody, my name's Hankering Furnail. This is RUNEHAMMER. Look at all this stuff. This stuff's great. Look at that way over there. Anyway, Drunkens and Dragons here. Welcome back, guys. It's Thor's Day. One of my favorite days. There's always a passionate, volatile, patience-testing, yet exciting vibe in the air on Thor's Day, because that's what Thor's Day is all about. That's what Thor's Day is all about. Anyway, no, I'm not. This isn't me going ham. This is me chilling out. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. We've got more stuff going on. I'm kind of having fun hitting you with the hot and fresh, right off the griddle session recaps. My last game, as I mentioned, what was it, Tuesday afternoon? Yeah, it was like right after that stream. So Tuesday night was session 7 of Crown and Skull. And in this game, I am not the GM like in a lot of the games that I report on. In this one, I am a player, that's the way to be, man. That's the life. When you're both the GM and the player in the same week, I mean, that's like being the Shaolin monk, and you both get to do the Kung Fu, and you also get to do the Zen meditation. You know what I'm saying? All in the same week. So you're getting all the good stuff. Hi, everybody. Let's talk about this. So I can't believe it. In 1 week, 4 characters deceased. 4 characters in 1 week. That's nuts. So as you guys saw in my recap stream on Tuesday, we lost 3 characters in a single attack on Monday night. Then I'm coming into Tuesday. I'm a little bit tender. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling a little bit sore. You know what I mean? Them little feetsies, little tooties are a little bit sore. I maybe need a break from characters dying off left and right. So we come into session 7 for Crown and Skull. Now we have just allied with the princess, right? Princess Illyria of Thrin. She's a classic elven princess. Doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the movie. But when she does talk, she always says something very regal and very wonderful, and she inspires everyone. And you really want to work for this princess. She wins you over, you know what I'm saying? And you may not be like a big princess kind of person. I'm not like a princess kind of guy, but she winning me over. So we agree to take her. There's this thing called the Sea Star Festival, right? And once a year, she journeys around the coastline of the Emerald Sea and visits the towns, and everybody brings out their heraldry and has a party and celebrates her because she's cool. Because when you're like the third person in charge, everybody doesn't blame the problems on you. You're kind of just cool. You get to just chill. But everybody blames the stuff on the number one head honcho. You know what I mean? So the princess can chill, and she just gets to cruise around. And she has chosen us because we fought off this huge swarm of kobolds in session 6. She has chosen us to escort her in her wagon on to the next stop on her little tour, which is going to be the town of Tidestone. And this is all happening in the North Holds. If you're into Crown and Skull, or you have the map maybe that you got on the RuneHammer shop or something like that, kind of where I'm talking about. So we're kind of going around this lagoon, And we're doing a couple of hex rolls, right? So Crown and Skull does use kind of like a hex crawling kind of a system. But my GM here, she's pretty clever with all this because she kind of does like conventional prep for our sessions, but then she kind of warps her prepared material or story with whatever happens with our hex rolls, which I don't know about y'all. This seems like the way to do it. Like, this is dope. So that's what we're doing. We're traveling around underneath here. We get into some quicksand. I got to say, fuck quicksand. This is the second time in the campaign that we hit like a big ass patch of quicksand. And this stuff is natty. We're talking like D4 rounds until you're up to your eyeballs, not your neck. Okay, neck is one thing. You can say lines. You can still like win at the end of the movie, like in Prey, when you're up to the neck. But when you get up to the eyeballs, it's more like Woman in Black. You know what I mean? When that kid goes in that salt marsh, you know, that wagon and whatnot. And they sink into the mud and all that stuff. And it leads to like 50 years of people disappearing and like grumpy, scary stuff. That was a cool movie. Ooh, gnarly ending. Anyway, so we get into some quicksand. There's a little bit of struggle there. And we're a little more prepared to deal with quicksand this time. Namely, we know how fast you really need to hurry when quicksand up in this piece. You know, like if you're messing with quicksand, you know, no time to really talk and goof off. Like you need to get a plan. So we kind of set up this plan. We got a tree down across the quicksand. And I have a hovering katana in this game named Kiko. And Kiko, it doesn't just like hover, like float around and sort of follow me around. It's when I say the word stay, I give the command to this sword. It'll hold its location in space until I release it. That's its one sort of magical capability, which you would think it's kind of, I don't know, is that really that useful? Actually, it's kind of awesome because you can do like a floating anchor anywhere. It can be really quite handy when coupled with a rope and some player cooperation. So we set Kiko up as a hovering anchor over this tree, and we're hoping to use this tree to give some traction to the wagon because the wagon's sinking like way faster than anything else. But it doesn't work out. We got some bumbled rolls, and we're you know, it's the beginning of the session. We're kind of being idiots and whatnot. And the wagon's sinking too quickly, so we have to rescue her dresses because she wears all these like handmade awesome like festival dresses. And then we also get like all the rations that we have for our voyage. We get it out of the wagon, and we got the dwarf carrying all the stuff. And then the princess gets up on top of the wagon right as it's sinking and disappearing, jumps onto our horse, whose name is Laverne. And so our guide, Ib Goggins, and the princess are both on Laverne. And we just like smack that horse, get the horse to safety. Like if the horse sinks, this is going to be really bad. We're going to be limited to our actual like carryable inventory and stuff. Like, not cool, bro. Like we're trying to do this, you know, service to the princess is like a bad start. You know what I mean? And the only reason we're hitting quicksand on this journey is because the stinking hex roll that we got was not good. It was very low. So we get the horse out of there. The horse runs across, but then there's like three of us still kind of like floundering in the quicksand. So we got to use a combination of running, rope, hovering sword, a fishing pole, and some other stuff to get our asses out of the quicksand. Okay, that was the beginning. So we're all kind of getting into the session, starting to vibe on things. And we're out to quicksand. All right. And everyone in this group is both having a good time at this point. Because, you know, like a non-combat but skill and roll heavy encounter is always a good time. Always. You know, every time that you have a lot of dice tumbling, it doesn't have to be combat. You know what I mean? You can get into like a very skill or roll heavy encounter. And RGM is really playing Crown and Skull a little bit her own way. You know, and it's crazy being the author of Crown and Skull and watching my GM sort of hack it into something she's more comfortable running is crazy. It's a real experience in just Zen, you know, just let it happen. Just enjoy the fact that all GMs do this to all games they play. Just because it happens to be a game that I wrote, you know, I can't put on a stink face and be like, "Why don't you play the way it's written?" No, that's not how we do this hobby, y'all. We like hack and change everything we play and everything we goof around with. Okay, so anyway, we get through that quicksand. All three of us agree quicksand can fuck off. All right, no more quicksand. so we come around this lagoon. We do another hex roll, and this hex roll, this is where I can see a look in her eye, in the GM's eye, that we are somewhere between the hex roll results and her prepared material, and it's warping in a cool way. And that's not to say like this is bad, like improv is happening. No, it's the opposite. This is like, oh, this is about to get cool. We're at like the twist right here. So we come around and we find a shipwreck. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I love to see a shipwreck. If I'm playing an RPG and I'm wandering across the landscape in Fantasyland and all that, I love finding a shipwreck. I don't know about you guys. There's something really magical about it. You got a lot of like assumed content that's going to happen, right? Just put a shipwreck in your mind. There's so many things that you're probably already assuming are going to be part of this scene. The sound, the smells, the cold, the mist, the waves, the fish people, the treasure, the beer cask, the creaking boards, the board you step on that swings up and hits you in the face when you get on the thing, the rusty anchor, the weird gem up by the helm, like there's like a skeleton, that's roped to the mast, and like all these things are just in your mind. Like the GM hasn't told you anything yet. And I think that's why it's really cool to find a shipwreck. Like just right away, you just feel it, it's cool. So we came across this thing, we start poking around. It's relatively uninteresting. It's not like some kind of ghost ship or anything crazy like that. And I am leading the princess around the shipwreck. My character is kind of like a diplomat, or an envoy. He's like, he always wears nice clothes, and he like is always well spoken. And this is really a strange character for me. I've never played a character like this, but is very like high-minded with manners and with, the appropriate codes of conduct and honor. And so he's leading the princess around this unpleasant shipwreck, but super curious about it. And so I investigated what the name of the ship is and if I could remember something about it. My companions are all trying to explore it and look for stuff, but Karazhan, my character, is an intellectual character. And so I see the name of the ship written on the placard on the front, on the bow, which has crashed into these rocks, and it says Tidefall. And I thought, ooh, that's wonderfully appropriate, and also probably my favorite James Bond movie. Anyone? Is this thing on? Tidefall, and the tide fall, and it crumble. We play together in Tidefall. Anyway, sorry, I've been sitting on that for 2 days. It just won't stop. It loops. Okay, so anyway, the Tidefall is there. Karazhan remembers some stuff about the story of the Tidefall, which belonged to a group of pirates, and looks like, right, well, of course it's got to be pirates. That's dope. But they like stole this ship, and there's this captain named Grimtoe. And we said, yo, we know a guy named Grimtoe. And then I kind of do some of my roles here, and I remember from my history lessons that Captain Grimtoe, who's like the captain of the guard in our hometown, had a twin brother who chose the opposite path in life, and they kind of had this falling out. And so we, in a cool way, we have a connection to this missing, no one's around. It's not like they're here. These pirates are missing, and we have a connection to them. And everybody gets a little bit of a chill of fear because, okay, this isn't just a random shipwreck. There's something's a brewing here. So we kind of move past, and we got some stuff here and there, little details. And then we get into, of course, a pack of crab people. Crab men come out to tide and whatnot, coming up over them rocks. And we dispatch these crab people, no problem. Like, we own these fools. They got to 10 HP. Their attacks were pushover. They were slow moving. Like, we just waxed these fools, man. They didn't have a chance against us. So that kind of, the GM always looks a little disappointed when you just own the monsters. But the players are always just like, we're so badass. We're so dope. It's so hilarious. It happens every single time. GM disappointed monsters weren't harder. Players super psyched that they're so badass. So we come up to Karg Fort, which is our interim destination. This is a fort known to be a high security dwarven stronghold that stores and makes cheese. Okay, so the whole realm kind of respects this fortress because this is where like all the best cheese comes from. So it's kind of a holy ground, right? But is it? Wait, was that a swish? Was that a swish? Anyway, the cheese puns are rolling, but the whole place is looking abandoned. So we come up, and my character Karazhan goes up to the front door, and he's like, "What is this? The hospitality of Karg Fort is somewhat reduced of late. We have the princess here. Let us in. There should be silver trumpets sounding, not this lonely welcome with a flurry of snow and no one showing their faces. What is this? This affront of manners in the realm." So then we realized, wait a minute, something's kind of wrong here. It's not like they're being rude to us. Like, I don't think anyone's around. This is kind of weird. So there's this long pause. We're trying to get in. We eventually get the gate to open up, and we're going in. And like, this is kind of something doesn't feel right. And of course, I mean, how many years is it going to take before you start learning that the same stuff happens in multiple adventures? When am I going to start learning? I'll tell you when, never, because it's more fun not to. The gate slams behind us, and out of these like smoke bombs, this group of like 5 assassins appears in this confined little corridor, and one grabs the princess straight up Bowser style, drops another smoke bomb, and disappears before we even know what's happening. We're like, what? And then Bowser's up into the castle, straight up. I mean, they might as well have like an icon that was bouncing up the castle map. You know what I mean? And we're like, they stole the princess. And in my mind, I was like, this is so cliche, but also it was so exciting and so fun. So once again, it's proof that like ideas don't have to be earth shattering in their originality to be super fun. It's all about details and delivery and your group and stuff. So anyway, there we are, trapped in this little corridor with these assassins. Now, right away, crab people, I'll fuck with some crab people. I'll mess them up all day long. But assassins, this is going to be bad. And here's where my GM was going to unleash her new modifications to Crown and Skull. So 4 of these assassins are pushovers. We're like icing these fools. We're like, this isn't going to be so bad. Our dwarf, who was running a little bit behind because he was screwing around with some stuff, he comes crashing in. And when he rolls up, he's our real combat heavy. And he's hitting, he's crushing these fools. But then we realize their leader looks like a badass, and he's walking over. And then there's a brief exchange between the Whisper, who is our diminutive, mysterious rogue in the group. And she kind of wears this sort of ragged dress and has like a psycho look in her eye, and is kind of like a little gremlin kind of rogue that we keep in our group. And we really learned to love her. And at one point, she's also a contortionist. At one point, she was captured by the Frog Kingdom and kept in this little wooden box. They like folded her up and put her in this wooden box. And her origin story is kind of sad. Like, she was kept in this cage by the Hidden Hand, which is kind of this group of assassins in the North holds. And this guy, this leader of these assassins, was her teacher, was basically the guy who not only imprisoned her, but took her from her peaceful life along with other young children and taught them to be these kind of rogues and assassins against their will almost, right? So they're having this straight up like Ahsoka Anakin encounter going down. Like, the layers of subtext are blowing the dome up. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, the leader of the Hidden Hand, and our GM calls this out, fixates on the Whisper, and is basically saying, you have gone out of your lane. You've done what we did not train you to do. You are now helping the forces of the crown. You are helping the law and all the things that work against the Hidden Hand. You are undoing what we made you to do. This can go on no longer. You have to be eliminated, and I'm the one to do it because I'm your teacher. I am the one who made you. Therefore, I will drop the sword and end you. And the Whisper is kind of like this crazy little girl who's kind of like wild-eyed, and she's just like, oh yeah, do your worst, bro. And so they just enter this crazy melee. Now, meanwhile, me and the dwarf are fighting back the other characters, but the Whisper and the Hidden Hand are in this crazy, awesome conflict, and the assassin is going way outside of normal Crown mechanics. He's getting faster every round. He's like the Mega Man boss. You know what I mean? The longer you take to beat a boss in Mega Man, they start going all like mega quick, kind of like the ghosts in Pac-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get quick if you take too long. And that's what this dude is doing. He's starting to get additional attacks and shit. He's speeding up. But we couldn't believe it. The Whisper just keeps making her defense rolls. This Whisper's player is the worst with these rolls. Now, this isn't personal. No shade being thrown here, but this fool is not good at rolling these defense rolls. Like, he's just missing these things all the time. But the Whisper is holding the Hidden Hand back, bing, bing, blocking with 2 daggers, getting a little shot in here and there, but just holding her ground. And our GM keeps mentioning the Hidden Hand is fixated on her and will not attack anyone else, but will just continue to intensify every round that he's alive. And we're like, if we don't get this guy dead, toot sweet, like really fast, he's going to get so fast, we will not stand a chance. So we had to dispatch these other assassins. Then me and the dwarf move in. Now we got 3-on-1. We're taking on the hidden hand. We really had a round there. We knew if we don't get a kill on the hidden hand in this round, the next one, there's going to be another speed bump. Like we'll get faster and we'll probably be outside the realm of the survivable. So it has to be this round. So we're talking through this before this round. So it's time to dig deep as far as the resources your character may have, like a hero coin or a spell you haven't used, whatever. So all the goodies are coming out. And here we go. We got to bring mad heat on this round. And we could not get the kill. We could not get the kill. The speed bump comes in. Whisper's going first, misses the defense roll. After like 4 successful rounds of fighting this guy off, she finally misses the defense roll and happens to miss it right as this final speed boost is coming up. And the roll comes out maximum. So for those of you who are familiar with Crown and Skull, it works on a system called attrition. There are no hit points in this game and no stats. And when you're getting into higher power levels in Crown and Skull, you're getting multiple attritions, meaning you're losing multiple skills or pieces of gear in a single attack. And in this case, because of these crazy speed ascensions on this bad guy, we're talking 2d6 attrition. This is enough to clear out your inventory in one hit or all your skills. On a low roll, 2d6, get out of here. So for the first time in the battle, the Whisper misses her defense roll. The GM drops the 2d6, and you know exactly what happens right here. Boxcars, baby. Double sixes. 12 freaking attrition. This is probably the second biggest attack ever made in Crown and Skull, besides last week when Joe's character was killed by a blast of energy weapons. So this is now 5 character deaths in under a week. 4 this week alone. Yeah, and so the Whisper, our precious little psycho girl, is obliterated. I mean, it wasn't even, there's nothing to even negotiate or like look at your sheet or maybe have this thing on the ready line or maybe have this little piece of defense. No. This is everything she's got, a shot to the heart and like 5 more attrition, like absolutely obliterated. So we're just like, I mean, we're talking 7 sessions, and this was a beloved character. Beloved, I say. And this isn't no AD&D, you know, we're not playing BX over here where you're going to die and like just make a new character. This is like, this is intense. So my character Karazhan sees her just like sliced to ribbons. No, and then me and the dwarf come in and the dice obey and we just smack, we just lock this fool down and kill him in one combo attack between the two of us, just getting business done. Did a shit ton of damage too, just with authority. If only we could have done that the round before, but hey, this is how it is, right? This is the game. Now we're in the aftermath. The princess is still way up in the castle being roughhoused by Captain Grimto of this pirate group who came from the Tidefall. And we're going to save that for next session because right now we can't. I can't. No, you know, my character Karazhan drops to his knees next to what's left of the Whisper. And this is kind of the wrap on session 7. So not a huge session, you know, because when a beloved character like that drops, sometimes you just got to end the session right there and just sit and talk for a while. Like this is heavy business, and there's a lot of cheerful wit all around the table. Don't get me wrong. It was a beautiful and heroic and amazing death for a cool character who was cool from the first session to the 7th session, was beloved by the group. So what's going to come next for my character Karazhan is I'm going to switch this character. This has been a really bright, cheerful, polite, scholarly character, right? And I'm going to flip Karazhan. Karazhan's going to go Dark Knight. Seeing Whisper laid low like that, he has failed in everything that he ever set out to do if he can't protect her. and like his whole bravado of being the good guy and the Mr. Educated and Mr. Adjust your glasses and all this. I'm going to throw it all away and I'm going to choose the skull. Now, those of you who know about Crown and Skull, all characters at about this point are either forced to or can elect to choose between the crown and the skull. And I think everyone here can intuit what that choice is. It's the light and the dark side, right? And Karazhan is going to choose the dark side. He's going to harness all the anger and the disappointment and the failure of letting Whisper die, and he's just going to turn gnarly. Now, my GM doesn't know that yet. She might be watching this video as we speak. So it just goes to show that everything that's happening in the game isn't necessarily happening right there in front of you. It's also it's the causality of what occurs in the imagination of where the players want to take the results of things, not just the things in themselves. So I'm really excited to share all this with everybody tonight, fresh off the griddle. We played this Tuesday night, and it was just amazing. You know, it's sad to lose a character, but also it reminds you the context of danger in the game, the reality that this is a game about knives and blades and blood, and people don't make it sometimes, and how you deal with that. You don't just say, oh, dead character, and move on. No, like how this affects you and how this changes you. To me, that is the game. Now, before we get out of here, or before I call for a couple of questions, because there's always at least a few questions. So whatever they are, you can build those up in your dome here for a second. I have a bitchin' announcement for y'all. And if you're watching the video in the future, I'll put the time tag of this announcement right into the description. So you can, if you don't want to listen to the whole recap, you can skip right to this announcement. But yo, check out the link in the video description, y'all. As of today, we finally have Index Card RPG Master Edition, Index Card RPG Collector's Edition, Viking Death Squad, and the just today released official RUNEHAMMER Hero Coin. This bad boy is treasure, y'all. It's two color solid brass with these solid enamel sides. This baby has the weight of the eons in it. You're going to love these things. I absolutely guarantee you. And props out to my man, Skippy. Thanks for leading the charge on this, you crazy person. But yo, the hero coins are exciting enough. But also, you guys, I have reclaimed the inventory of my books from Modifius. Now, no shade to Modifius, by the way. Chris and Rita, you guys are the absolute best. I love you guys. I can't wait to meet you and have a Guinness with you someday. They have been so good to me. But also Modifius has like a lot to do, right? Modifius is working on Dune, I mean, among other things. And so they weren't quite the gateway just into, you know, the stratosphere that I think I expected. And so what I've been doing in the past couple of years is building up the ability to reclaim the inventory of books that I've created with them and with all their help. And they've taught me so much. But to say, okay, I'm ready, you know, like I think I'm grown up. I'm ready to take my own inventory into my own warehouse. And what this means is now I can eat some of this shipping cost. And so we're going to offer some real nice, affordable shipping. And if you're an immortal on the RuneHammer Patreon, jump over there right now because we've got a special discount code. And check this. All of my Patreon immortals get free shipping on any order using the code. So, yo, that's a major shipping's on me, y'all, because my immortals are the patrons that keep the lights on at my house. But, you know, this isn't just exciting because I want to sell you all my things. That really isn't what's such an adrenaline pumping thing here. It's continuing the journey that you guys know that I'm very outspoken about, right? Which is to cut my own trail. And it's only with the help of Kane's Kiln and House DM, really the three of us make RuneHammer. It's only with their help that this can happen. Because there's a lot of buttons and switches to be pulling and a lot of websites and settings to do all this stuff. And I couldn't keep going with all my creative work if I didn't have Kane and Jake helping me out. And so you guys, thank you very much. These are my boys right here, my brothers, ride or die for life. You know what I'm saying? But this is exciting partially because we can offer really fast and really cheap shipping, which I think Modifius has had trouble doing that because they're just so huge. They work more with stores than they do with individuals, you know. But we at Runehammer, we're always trying to just be really direct in our relationship with y'all. You know what I mean? And this lets us continue to focus on those values in our own way and cut our own trail. And is it the best way? Is it the only way? Hell no. But it's our journey. And so the more that we can take that journey into our own hands, the more we can be responsible for the parts that suck and the parts that are awesome. We aren't beholden to someone. And so it makes it ours, it makes it our learning opportunity. And the victories are ours and the losses are ours to learn from. And I hope how that's important and exciting makes sense to all of you out there. So it isn't just about, yo, go to my store and buy the stuff, which is a fun enough announcement. It's much more about having the momentum and the capability to take this inventory back and to reclaim our destiny and our freedom for ourselves. And it's a hint at what's to come, right? You're going to be buying direct from Runehammer in the future. I'm going to wean myself off of drive-through RPG. And mad love to Chris and Rita over at Modifius, but I'm also going to say, yo, greener pastures, y'all. Thank you for everything. I will see you in Valhalla, to become almost, one of their competitors in a way. I don't got no Dune, but, and I, have been talking about Chris, by the way, if those of you who don't know, is the founder of Modifius, and me and him kind of chat now and again. And he's awesome with it. He's just like, the best thing that I can see in somebody that we work with is that they just rise and outgrow and go off on their own and everything. And so his attitude and his mentorship and his friendship are madly appreciated. And now we just get to sort of keep going and cut this trail on our own. So go check out the link for the Runehammer shop. And you don't got to, spend your Christmas fortune in there. It's just take a look. It's just to look at it, to me, is really cool. It's really exciting to see those books finally available direct from us. I mean, that's hard to put into words how exciting that really is. So check it out. And yo, if those coins don't make you drool, I don't know what planet you're living on, because they are so dope and heavy and legit feeling in the hand. And yeah, it's the official, and it isn't just the coin, I don't think, that makes them magical. It's also the commitment to, I guess, the sort of the brand, right? Like the Runehammer brand, the wizard lock and the hammer. We've come a long way, y'all. I mean, it's going to be 9 years here in a couple months that we have been on this Runehammer journey together. 9 freaking years. It's going to be a decade of Runehammer come 2025. And that is wild. And we're only gaining more and more steam thanks to y'all. You guys are the shit, and I know you'll fuck with crab people. You fuck them up all day. I know that. You could take that to the bank, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, can you believe this, Crowdus? 9 years Runehammer has been going. And so now we're just reaching this stage where we're like starting to be able to sort of, build up the speed of this machine and the torque of the machine. The torque being the ability to make moves that don't really like detriment, our family finances, our ability to pay the bills and stuff. Like we're getting pretty adult around here. And I think there's some, not everyone understands why I don't do crowdfunding or Kickstarter. People ask, why don't you just go ahead and do it, quite frequently. And absolutely no shade on Kickstarter, no shade, or backer kit or any of that stuff. No shade against any of that stuff at all. It's just different people have different approaches. And I have wanted to cut this trail the slow, hard way and to do it this way. And so, it's just awesome. Today is a really momentous day. It's really just crazy to see those things coming direct from us. An absolutely fantastic feeling. So that's all I got for right now. I'm probably going to see you before the end of the month, but yo, be sure to check out my community post I'm going to bring back one of the oldest traditions of Runehammer on Yuletide Eve. That's December 24th. I'm going to be reading a story by H.P. Lovecraft right here live on YouTube. And, just gather around the Yuletide tree, or if you got I don't know, you got the Kagatillo in the living room, you gather around the Kagatillo, you know what I'm saying? Give it a little whack, get a little poop candy, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe y'all just got a nice cozy fire for the Yuletide to celebrate the coming of winter. However you celebrate the end of the year, the longest night of the year, and all that good stuff. And we're going to gather around. I'm going to read a story to y'all because, man, I used to do that way back in the day. So I want to bring that back because I always thought it was kind of special. And yeah, look, Kane's got the link right there. So you can put a notification on that. Gather the family around. And yeah, I'm a bit of a weirdo. So I like to read my H.P. Lovecraft on Yuletide Eve. I like some cosmic horror to get cozy, when the winter's coming in and all that good stuff. So that's all I got for announcements. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Let's have a couple of little spots here. What do we got? Chris, what's up? Planning on any community games in January? Yeah, that was another tradition I did back in the day, is that the Patreons or the patrons over on Patreon, I would do some online games with them. And we might do a little bit of that with some Crown and Skull. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Why not get into that? But that will definitely be a Patreon thing. Sometimes running games for, like large groups of people and stuff like that, that could be pretty stressful. So you definitely at least got to keep it to the Patreon group. And be sure to spread the word if you're digging on RuneHammer and like the bad sound I have in my live videos and the lack of editing and the lack of brilliant production. I mean, I got to be honest with y'all. Making videos is not my hobby. And I know like well-made videos are far more entertaining to watch than like what I do, which is basically almost like a radio show. It's like a wartime radio show how I use YouTube. It's really simple format, but what I find is that my hobby doesn't become making videos. My hobby is right back here, right at the table, making miniatures, making terrain, and making, oh, yeah, that's right. There's a new Viking Death Squad adventure coming out in a few days. So, like, doing that stuff, that's my hobby. And that's why I just do this kind of like wartime radio show style. What was it called? Fireside Chats. Yeah, that's the old Teddy Roosevelt. Or wait, or was it FDR? So many Roosevelts. You know what I mean? Was it Teddy Roosevelt or FDR who did Fireside Chats? I think it's Teddy Roosevelt. Well, that's my style, regardless. I don't even know American history. It's depravity, is what it is. It's ridiculous. All right, Dr. H. Workouts are kicking in the Iron Gym. Any reasons you're making yourself into a badass motherfucker? Yo, the Iron Church is a central part of my life. Just because after my amputation, I really have to hit the gym hard to stay really functional. I got a lot of titanium in my body. So if I stop hitting the gym, I start getting kind of disabled, to be quite honest about it. So the gym is part of my life, but there are varying results with gyms, right? And I found a really good one that's real small and real, you got a lot of room to breathe in there, and you can definitely hit the iron harder when you find the right gym. And so I've been enjoying it for sure. But that's always been a part of my life. As far as BAMF, I think I got another 10 years to go. Yo, Philip, what's up? Patreon posts on how to organize your own Airbnb like the Outriders. I haven't done it. It's a cool idea though. It could be. I mean, I think the Outriders blog post that I did might be a bit of a guideline. But yeah, let's consider getting into that a little bit. They are so fun. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that, Daniel. Yeah, Jimmy. Hey, dude. I think I'm gonna start chilling on YouTube with a little more relaxation and getting on here a little more often. Sometimes you got to build up a lot of energy or like sort of mood fuel to kind of get on YouTube and to be honest and to be energetic and to tell stories and to be sort of on, you know what I'm saying? But some kind of cloud has passed because I feel much more relaxed kind of popping on YouTube and just saying, hey, And Keith, hey, that's too bad, man. Props though. Happy Yuletide to you. May your fire be bright as winter approaches, my friend. Um, so yeah, expect to see this ugly mug a little more often. And we'll get back into all the things we love doing. Terrain and encounters and drawing and all that good stuff. And kind of just I'm feeling it coming on. You know what I mean? Like I can't explain it. I'm not here to explain it. I don't really answer to normal scheduling or structure or any of that kind of stuff. I just kind of follow my nose. I just do what feels right. You know what I mean? Um, Thank you, Azimuth. Appreciate that. Proud is a big word. Appreciate that. Hey, it's very kind. It's very kind indeed. My man Tater, can you talk about changes coming in Warmaker 2? Yeah, sure. For those of you who are interested in RuneHammer Wargaming, it's absolutely a thing. Warmaker First Edition did not have a lot of staying power. Didn't like stick with readers that much, and it left too much open to the sort of DIY, and especially in the wargaming community and in PvP, especially like leaving too many questions is not conducive to a really stirring night of wargaming. And thanks to some friends like Ogbang and others, I've been seeing a deeper truth about wargaming and doing my homework. Warhammer 3rd edition, and I got to send some props to 40K 10th edition. Nice job on that one, guys. That stuff, do your homework, and it's ongoing. You don't have to feel bad or something that you can improve on your own work. So I took Warmaker off the market. 2.0 is underway right now, and it's going to feel a lot more familiar to 40K players, to Warhammer players, and to wargamers in general. And the idea isn't to compete with these titans, like 40K is an absolute titan of wargaming and is freaking awesome, by the way. The community is also just awesome. It's not really meant to compete, but to provide some common ground, right? So people who don't know much at all about wargaming, like myself, can often have a hard time getting into games with people who know a ton about something like 40K. There's a weird little riptide there between people. And I would like to think that Warmaker provides common ground so that the expert and the beginner, or the casual and the hardcore, kind of can come into a middle space together and play. And I would like to think it's going to open up more wargaming mixture of people. That's kind of my goal with it. And so you'll be seeing, it's got like point budgets to make lists and some more familiar stuff. And some of the more loosey-goosey elements have been removed with a tighter rule set. We got a great card deck for the abilities because I need cards at the table to remind me of stuff. I don't like to look at books and stuff. So look forward to that coming early next year. We'll be done soon. And props and thank you out to Dungeon Masterpiece and Alex Alvarez for their help with Warmaker 2.0. Also, my man, the Evil DM, he's going to be my partner as we do some tests playing Romans versus Picts to reenact Stilicho's War. For you historians out there, we are going to reenact one of the greatest battles and least documented battles of the medieval world, when Stilicho, the praetor of the Roman army, tried to take the Picts of northern England and failed. So we're gonna get into that too. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming there. Can I send you a physical copy of my module? Yeah, of course. Ivan, just email me, will you? We'll get all that worked out. The Warmaker decks can be released as a PDF, but I can tell you, making a good deck of cards yourself out of a PDF is a real pain in the ass. But sure, there's no harm releasing it as a PDF. Crowdis, Masters and Collector's Edition is a cosmetic difference. Yes. Yep. The Collector's Edition is dope as hell. Has different end papers. Has the cover. Has no graphics on the spine, which I kind of really like. It just sort of stealths onto your thing. I have them right back up here, but I think those books really speak for themselves. But it is mostly just cosmetic, yeah. And there's just less of them in the world, so they just have a rarity kind of factor. Yeah, Picts. Keith, this is basically you. You're some kind of weird blend of a Pict and a gypsy. If there's a 6'6" gypsy Pict with like a Mongolian hat, that's my man. My dog right there. I slept in this full living room and whatnot. All right, Dr. H. Is it a stretch to say the simplicity of some game HeroQuest, the symbols on a D8? have influenced Warmaker. Well, yeah. I mean, if you took those symbol-based dice and reduced them to a single symbol, I mean, the hit dice in Wargamer are as simple as dice get. It's an on-off state. Our newest STL that we're 3D printing for the Warmaker dice have a little marker for the 6 so that we can do some exploding rules. But absolutely, man. Hero Quest, X-Wing, those are influences on everything everybody thinks about nowadays. If they're not, you're not doing your homework, bruh. Do your homework. Fuck with some crab people. Know what I'm saying? Sheesh. My man, 6'6" pick gypsy up here with a Mongolian hat on. So you wanna fuck around with this? You're gonna have to go through that. You know what I mean? If you look this fool up too, he got like brigandine and stuff. This fool's like he's a archer, swordsman, got weird shoes, and he's only 6'5". So yeah, I was counting the hat though. It's got the pointy top, so I was counting the hat. All right, you guys. Happy Yuletide to everybody. Thank you so much, all 80 of you, for tuning in today. That Crown and Skull session, I can't believe the Whisper is not going to be with us anymore. That's so sad, but I'm sure that my man Jimmy will come up with an awesome character next, and we will go on with this story. So you can always go back in my other recap videos and catch up on the details, and go check out the shop at runehammer.online, man. And we got some fast-ass shipping, y'all. So if you're getting into some Yuletide for the game, for the Runehammer shield in your life, which might be you, it's not too late. You know, I know that those Yuletide peeps, they like to do a lot of gift giving under that tree. This is what I'm told. I heard it's a rumor, but this is what I'm told. Now, my family, we're a little different. We get that roast beast going, and then we sit around and we'll whack on the cockatiel with the sticks till that poop candy come out. You know what I'm saying? But yo, hey, back at you, Private D&D. Right back at you. A good pagan holiday to you all, or however you celebrate. Enjoy with your family. And man, Lord knows there are plenty of hard times going around on this planet right now. A bunch of bad shit. And so everybody, you know, we got to hold on to the good stuff if we got access to it, and be grateful and hold on tight and be nice to each other. All right. You know, and if we're different, that's okay. Just be nice to the person next to you, will you? Sheesh. Here we got one final question. Director of the unmade Mouse Guard movie is directing Legend of Zelda movie. Thoughts? The chances of a Legend of Zelda movie sucking are extremely high. The chances of a Mouse Guard movie being kick-ass are extremely high. So we shall see. We shall see. Be excellent to each other. Party on. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will see you on that old internet. And remember, you can always hit me up. I'm runehammer.games on that old Insta. You can hit my DMs on there. Email me, hankerin.fernail@gmail.com. Jump on that Runehammer Discord, or best of all, get on that old Patreon. Sign up, and then you can really see what's behind the curtain of Runehammer. Okay, you guys, thank you all for tuning in. This was super fun. Once again, I'm going to get out of here, eat some roast beef, and like watch a movie or something. I've had a big old day. I'm pooped. I'm pooped out. All right, you guys. Remember, keep it real. Don't steal, and you're always going to get a good deal. Do something nice for the person next to you. And if we all do that, it's going to be a real nice world. Okay, so until next time, happy Yuletide, y'all. Talk to you soon. Birds. They might be birds. We'll never know if they're birds. They might be birds, but we'll never know if they're birds.